Welcome students. Today in this mock test, basically we are going to solve questions on the topics of basic concepts and magnetic circuit of electrical engineering. As you can see, this is mock test number 3. The test PDF link also has been provided in the description section. Okay. So without wasting our time, we will start solving the mock test. So what is the question number 1? So question number 1 is, what is the angular frequency of the AC signal having a frequency of 1770 Hz? Okay. So how we get the angular frequency of any AC signal? We know that the angular frequency of any AC signal omega is equal to 2 pi and f, means 2 pi into f. Now here the f is given to be as 1700 Hz. Okay, so just put all the values. Okay, 2 into 22 by 7 into 1770. Okay, after calculating this, we will get it approximately to be as 11,120 radian per second. So here option number B will be our correct answer. Okay. What is the next question? The question number 2 basically asking the total number of lines of force passing through a surface in an electric field is called. What it is? In an electric field, the number of field lines which is passing through a surface, it is basically the flux. Okay. So as it is electric field, so corresponding to electric field, here it will be electric flux. So option number D here will be the answer. Now let us take question number 3. Voltage applied across a ceramic dielectric produces an electrolytic field 100 times greater than air. Okay. What will be the value of the dielectric constant? Now here the electrolytic field is basically proportional to the value of the dielectric constant. So when the electrolytic field becomes 10 times greater, that means we have also to consider that the dielectric constant has been increased to 100 times. Okay, so the value of the dielectric constant will also be 100 times. So here, as we know that the relative permittivity or the value of the dielectric constant for air is 1, so the material which is used when the electrolytic field becomes 100 times greater will also be having a dielectric constant of 100. Okay, so here the option will be option number A. The question number 4. A 2 cm long coil has 100 turns and carries a current of 750 milliampere. Okay, the magnetizing force of the coil is, what is the magnetizing force? The magnetizing force is given by H. Okay, and we know H is equal to Ni by L, where N is the number of turns of the coil, I is the current passing through the coil, and L is the length of the coil. Now putting all the values, what we get? N is 10, I is 750 milliampere, means 750 into 10 to the power minus 3, and L, which is 2 cm, means 2 into 10 to the power minus 2, that is in meter. So what we get here? We get H is equal to 750 divided by 2, means 375 ampere turn per meter, which is the unit of magnetizing force. So the answer here is the option number C. Next question. Which of the following materials possess the least resistivity? Okay. Here 4 materials are given: iron, manganese, copper and aluminium. Least resistivity means highest conductivity. So definitely of this material, the copper is having highest conductivity. So option number C here will be our answer. Let us now take the question number 6. Hysteresis loss is dash proportional to the area under hysteresis curve. Also it is dash proportional to frequency of supply. Okay, so 4 options are there. So what do we know about hysteresis loss? We know hysteresis loss PH is equal to KH into F into Bm to the power x, where x is the Steinmetz constant. Okay, and the value of x is generally taken as 1.6. Now see, from this you can easily say that hysteresis loss is proportional to the frequency, that is the frequency of the supply. And also what we know, the hysteresis loss for any type of material depends upon the area of the BH curve or the hysteresis curve, that is this one. So the total area basically tells us how much hysteresis loss is taking place. So hysteresis loss is also proportional to the area of the hysteresis loop. Okay, so hysteresis loss basically directly proportional to the area of the hysteresis loop as well as proportional to the frequency of the supply. So here the option number D is the correct answer. Okay, let us take the question number 7. Which resistor will be physically large in size? See, the value of the ohmic resistance is given as well as the power rating of the resistor is given. That means how much power the resistor can dissipate. So definitely the greater the power that can be dissipated by a resistor with lower ohmic value, the greater will be the size of the resistor. Okay, so see which one is having maximum wattage. As you can see in the option number B, the resistor is having a wattage value of 50 watt, that is it can dissipate 50 watts of power. So we can say that the option B here is the correct answer, that is 10 ohm and 50 watt. Next, the question is the energy stored by a capacitor is given by which one of the following? So what we know, the energy stored in a capacitor is given by half into capacitance of the capacitor and V square, that is the voltage across the capacitor, and this energy basically stored in the electric field. Okay, so definitely you can see the first option here is correct, but we have also to check other options because we know that the total charge in a capacitor Q is equal to CV. Now if we put V is equal to Q by C in half CV square, what we get? EC will be equal to half into C into Q square by C square. So we will get here EC, that is the energy stored in a capacitor, is equal to Q square by 2C. Okay, so option number B here also is correct. Now let us check the last option. Okay, so this EC now can also be written as half into Q by V into V square, as from this equation you can get C is equal to Q by V. So from this you can write EC is equal to half into Q into V. So the option C is also correct. So definitely here the option number D, which is saying all of this, is our correct answer. Okay, next question is the power dissipated in a pure capacitor is. Now what you know, a pure capacitor means no power loss or no active power loss, because all the power associated with a pure capacitor is reactive power. So here the actual power loss or the true power loss will be 0. Without taking a look at any other options, the option A here is the correct answer. Okay, so question number 10. In capacitor and inductor, the electrical energy is stored respectively in, basically fields are given. In capacitor, electric field stores the energy. Okay, and in inductor, the magnetic field stores the energy. So from the given options, the first option will be the correct answer. Okay, means capacitor stores energy in electric field and inductor stores energy in magnetic field. Okay, now let us take the question number 11. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the given list. Okay, so in the list 1 it is given Ohm's law. Ohm's law is directly gives you the voltage and current relationships. Okay, so with A, the 3 of list 2 is basically matching. So checking the options, here only in option D you can see it. Okay, so basically you don't have to check any other options, but still you can see that Fleming's right hand rule basically taken as the generator rule, and alternator is nothing but AC generator, and Coulomb's law is in connection to the capacitors. Okay, so for the question 11, option D is the correct answer. Next, question number 12. Voltage applied across a ceramic dielectric produces an electrolytic field 100 times greater than air. What will be the value of the dielectric constant? I think we have previously solved the problem. The same problem is given here. So without doing it, we directly can say here the answer will be A, that is 100. Because the electrolytic field is becoming 100 times means the dielectric constant is also becoming 100 times. Now let us take the question number 13. The three circuit elements shown in the figure are part of an electric circuit. The total power absorbed by the three circuit elements in watts is, okay. So see here, basically 10 ampere current is going into 100 volt. So 100 volt is basically absorbing a power of 100 into 10, that is equal to 1000 watt absorbing, and the 8 ampere current is coming out from the 80 volt source. Okay, so here 80 into 8, that is 640 watt power which is being supplied, and as you see this is a junction point. So the current here will be, if it is taken as I, then I will be equal to 10 minus 8, that is 2 ampere. Means this 2 ampere current is being supplied to the 15 volt source. That means 15 into 2, that is 30 watts of power is being absorbed by the source of 15 volt. That means the total power absorbed will be 1000 minus 640 plus 30, that is 1030 minus 640 means 390 watts. So basically none of the options are correct here. Okay, but if this source would have been connected like this, okay, in that case this 30 watt power would have been supplying power. Okay, in that case the answer will be 1000 minus 640 plus 30, that means 330 watts. Okay, hope all of you have understood. Okay, so let us go to the next problem, that is problem number 14. C0 is the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with air as dielectric. If half of the entire gap as shown in the figure is filled with a dielectric of permittivity epsilon r, the expression for the modified capacitance is, okay. So this is the initial condition, and this is the final condition. What do we have to find out? The expression for the modified capacitance. Okay, so initially the capacitance is equal to epsilon 0 into A by D, because here for air as the dielectric epsilon r is equal to 1, and finally when the half segment of the capacitor is basically filled up with a dielectric of epsilon r, then what is happening here? Basically we can say two capacitors are connected in parallel, one with epsilon 0 dielectric, another with epsilon r. So here C final will be equal to, let us take this as C1 dashed and this is C1 double dashed, means C1 dashed plus C1 double dashed. So C1 dashed will be epsilon 0 into A by 2 by D, if we take this length to be as D, and C1 double dashed will be epsilon 0 into epsilon r into A by 2 by D. So taking epsilon 0 common, A by 2D plus epsilon r into A by 2D. Okay, so we know that epsilon 0 into A by D is C initial. So this is 1 by 2 into C initial plus epsilon r into 1 by 2 into C initial, which is here given to be as C initial to be as C0. So from this what we can write, C final is equal to half into C0 plus epsilon r into C0, or C0 by 2 into 1 plus epsilon r. Okay, so this is the capacitance of the capacitor with half of the section of the capacitor filled with a dielectric of permittivity epsilon r. Okay, so the option A here is the correct answer. As you can see here, the option A is correct answer. Next, the question number 15. Flux in a magnetic circuit is analogous to, what do we know about flux? The flux in magnetic circuit is given by MMF or the magnetomotive force by reluctance. Okay, so now if we have to compare this with electrical circuit, in electrical circuit what we get? We get the current is equal to voltage by resistance. Okay, so definitely we can compare the current in the electric circuit with flux in the magnetic circuit or vice versa. So here flux in the magnetic circuit is analogous to the current in an electric circuit. So option B here is our correct answer. Now let us take the problem 16. A cloud is at a potential of 10 to the power 6 volt relative to Earth. A charge of 6 coulomb is transferred in a lightning stroke between cloud and Earth. The energy dissipated is what? So see here, it is basically the situation of a capacitor, because the Earth and cloud here is working as the two plates of capacitor. Okay, so the energy associated can be given by E is equal to half into Q into V, where Q is basically a charge transferred and V is basically the potential difference in between cloud and the Earth. So putting all the values here, we get half into 6 into 10 to the power 6. This will give you 3 into 10 to the power 6 joules. Okay, so here option D is our correct answer. Next question. If a dielectric is placed in an electric field, the field strength increases, decreases, remains unaltered, becomes 0. Definitely, when a dielectric is placed in an electric field, what happens? Rather than using air or without any medium, whenever any dielectric having certain dielectric constant more than that is placed in a field, the field strength will increase, because the field strength is proportional to dielectric constant. Okay, so definitely here the answer will be A, that is increases. If V is equal to 100 sin omega t, where F is equal to 50 Hz, the value of V at 5 millisecond. Okay, so just put the value of time t is equal to 5 millisecond and F is equal to 50 Hz in this equation, you will get the answer. So V at 5 millisecond will be equal to 100 into sine into 2 pi F, that is 50, into 5 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, so what you will get here? 100 sine pi into 5 into 100 into 10 to the power minus 3. So this will give you 100 sine pi into 5 by 10. Okay, so that will be 100 sine pi by 2. Sine pi by 2 is 1. So that will be 100. Means the value of the voltage at 5 millisecond for the given sine wave will be 100 volts. Okay, so option A here is the correct answer. Next question. Both the number of turns and the core length of an inductive coil are doubled. Its self-inductance will be, you know that the self-inductance of a coil having turns N and length L is given by L is equal to mu 0 into mu r into N square into A by L, where A is basically the area of cross section of the coil. See here what it is said, the new coil is having twice the number of turns as of the previous, and the length is twice the length of the previous, but the area is basically fixed. So the new inductance or the self inductance will be mu 0 into mu r into 2n whole square into a by 2l. So that will be mu 0 into mu r into n square into a by l into 2. So that will be nothing but twice l. So while the number of turns and the length both are doubled, the self-inductance will be doubled. Hence the answer here will be option number A. Okay. Now let us take the question number 20. Curie temperature is the temperature above which a ferromagnetic material becomes. As you know, Curie temperature is such a temperature above which the ferromagnetic material loses its magnetic properties. Okay. So after losing the magnetic property, it basically becomes a paramagnetic material. So option A here is the correct answer. Okay. Let us take the question number 21. A coil of 100 turns is rotated at 120 rpm in a magnetic field having uniform density of 0.04 Tesla. Therefore, the value of the frequency. Okay. Means here you have to find out what is the frequency of the generated EMF. Okay. So basically the frequency of generated EMF is directly related to the RPM at which the coil is being rotated. Here the RPM N is equal to 1200 RPM. Okay. So the revolution per second or RPS will be 1200 divided by 60, that is 20. That means 20 cycles are generated in a second. Okay. So the frequency of the generated EMF will be 20 Hz. Hence we can say that option A here is the correct option. Next question. Which of the following statements is true about magnetic lines of force? Magnetic lines of force are always closed. Definitely all magnetic lines are basically closed lines because magnetic monopole doesn't exist. Means north and south pole always exist in pair. So basically magnetic lines of forces are always closed. Next option is magnetic lines of force always intersect each other, which is wrong. Okay. Magnetic lines of force tend to crowd far away from the poles of the magnet. This is also wrong because they basically tend to be crowded at or near the poles. Okay. And the last option is magnetic lines of force do not pass through the vacuum. It is also wrong because they can pass through vacuum. So option A here is the correct answer. Next, for which of the following is magnetic susceptibility negative? Okay. So first you have to know what is called magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility is basically the quantity by which we can say any material is magnetically can be attracted or repelled by a magnetic field. Okay. Now definitely for ferromagnetic material its value is positive and very high. For paramagnetic material also its value is positive but low value. But for diamagnetic material or diamagnetic materials its value is negative. Okay. So here you can see only the option D is having diamagnetic material. So option D here is the correct answer. Let us take question number 24. In house wiring, black and green wires indicate. Generally, black wire is taken as the neutral wire and the green wire is taken as earthy wire. Okay. So here you can see the option number D, which is saying that black wire is taken as neutral and green wire indicate earth respectively. That will be our correct option. Okay. Now question number 25. What is the resistivity in ohm meter of a 2 ohm cylindrical wire when the length and the diameter of the wire are 10 meter and 0.4 meter respectively? So what we know? We know resistance of any wire or cylindrical wire is equal to rho into L by A, where rho is the resistivity of the material with which the wire is being made, L is the length and A is the cross section of the wire. Okay. So here R is given to be as 2. We have to find out rho. L is given as 10 and area will be pi into diameter of the wire square, that is 0.4 whole square by 4. So 2 is equal to rho into 10 into 4 by pi into 0.4 whole square. So what is the value of rho? So rho will be equal to 2 into pi into 0.4 square divided by 40. This will give you 0.025. Okay. So here our answer will be 0.025 ohm meter. So option A here is the correct answer. Okay. Next, question number 26. According to Few's law, the current carrying capacity varies as 1 by diameter square, 1 by diameter, and diameter to the power 3 by 2. That means it is the diameter of the wire with which the fuse is basically made. Okay. So we know the current carrying capacity of the fuse wire is basically proportional to d to the power 3 by 2, where d is the diameter of the fuse wire. Okay. So here option D is the correct answer. Which of the following prefix means 10 to the power 15? Giga, exa, peta, tera. As you know, 10 to the power 15 is basically denoted as peta. Okay. And tera is 10 to the power 12. Now the question number 27. Which of the following prefix means 10 to the power 15? Giga. Giga we know it is basically 10 to the power 9. Exa is nothing but 10 to the power 18. And also we know tera is 10 to the power 12. Here basically peta is 10 to the power 15. So option C here is the correct answer. Next question. Magnetism of a magnet can be destroyed by A. Heating, B. Hammering, C. by inductive action of another magnet. Okay. Basically these three methods can be used for destroying the magnetism of a magnet. So all of the above methods, means all the three methods here mentioned can be used for destroying the magnetism of a magnet. So option D here is the correct answer. Next question. Determine the voltage in volts of a battery connected to a parallel plate capacitor filled with air when the area of the plate is 10 square centimeters and the separation between the plates is given by 5 mm. Charge stored on the plate is 20 picofarad. Okay, here the situation is like this. A battery is there and a capacitor is there, and you have to find out the voltage of the battery. Okay, so definitely at steady state, what do we know? The battery voltage is equal to the voltage across the plates of the capacitor. So here basically we have to find out what is the potential that is appearing across the capacitor. Okay, so for that what we need to know? Q is equal to C into V, where C is the capacitance of the capacitor, Q is the charge stored in the capacitor, and V is the potential across the capacitor. So V is equal to Q by C. Now here Q is given to be as 20 picocoulomb, that is 20 into 10 to the power minus 12, and C, or here the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor, given by epsilon 0 into epsilon R into A by D. A is the area of the capacitor plates and D is the distance between two plates of the capacitor. And epsilon R is the relative permittivity, which is here 1, as the medium given to be as air, and epsilon 0 is the absolute permittivity of free space, which is given by 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 farad per meter. Okay, so let us put all the values here. What we will get? V will be equal to 20 into 10 to the power minus 12 divided by 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 into 1 into A, which is 10 square centimeter. We need to convert it to square meters. Okay, so it will be 10 into 10 to the power minus 4 divided by 5 into 10 to the power minus 3. Now after calculating this, what we will get? We get this is to be equal to 11.29 volts, which is approximately equal to 11.3 volts. Okay, so here option C is our correct answer. Okay, so now the last question, that is we have to determine the value of the current in ampere through both the resistors of the given circuit. Okay, we have to find out I1 and I2. Okay, as you can see here, voltage across 10 ohm resistor is 20 volts because the 20 volt source and the 10 ohm resistor are in parallel. So definitely I1 is equal to 20 by 10 is equal to 2 ampere. Okay, also if we redraw the circuit, what we can see, if we take this as A node and this as B node, then the potential across 10 ohm resistor will be equal to the total potential across this 20 ohm resistor and this source voltage. Okay, so by writing the KVL here, so this is plus, this is minus, this is plus, this is minus. Okay, so writing the KVL here, 10 into I1 minus 20 into I2 plus 10 is equal to 0. Now we know I1 is equal to 2. So 20 minus 20 into I2 plus 10 is equal to 0, or 20 I2 is equal to 30. That means I2 is equal to 30 by 20 is equal to 1.5 ampere. Okay, so the option B here is our correct answer. Hope all of you have understood all the questions. I would like to request all of you to go through all the questions precisely so that you can understand all the things that has been discussed in this mock test, and you will be able to solve all the questions that may be coming in your examinations and are relating to this mock test paper. Okay, so if you like the video, please subscribe the channel and also like this video, and if you want, you can press the bell icon so that you will get the notification when I upload any new video. Okay.